It's easy to become numb to media bias these days, I get it. But the Ingraham angle is keeping track of the worst offenders of the week for you. Joining me now is Adam Guillette, president of Accuracy in Media. Adam, good to see you tonight. Let's begin with Katie Tour's mindless rant defending BLM protests.
Mandate masks. I don't understand the pushback on it. It just doesn't make any sense when you think about it logically. The protests were outdoors. All of the doctors and health experts say that that is a safer place to hold them. I attended a number of those rallies. Everybody was wearing a mask.
Now, later in the show, Chuck Todd hit back against a guest who called out their own media bias.
Just a reminder, for what it's worth, there is no editorial point of view here on any of these newscasts on MSNBC in the daytime.
I'm gonna look that. I didn't even know he said that. I thought that's Adam. He's got to be kidding me.
MSNBC denies being an opinion channel, pretends to be a news channel, but in reality, they're a comedy channel. You don't even need the volume. Just look at the chyrons. The headlines on the screen read like something that you'd see on Facebook from your liberal nephew who's at Berkeley. Their stuff is out of control, and their coverage of Black Lives Matter is hysterically ridiculous. It's great just watching for the laughs.
Yeah, just the lower thirds, the scroll of Donald Trump wants kids, to die from COVID. It is the most inflammatory stuff. And up next, MSNBC's Jason Johnson. He's just one of the many commentators peddling this sick conspiracy theory.
Because so many of these ballots are going to be coming in by mail, we're not going to have a new president on election night. It's going to take weeks. You're going to have militias showing up at vote counting locations, threatening people. We have a president who is a proto-dictator, and he will do anything in his power to stay out, regardless of what the actual numbers say.
Well, Adam, I fully expect that they're going to perhaps not accept a win by Donald Trump on election night, because they'll say we'll find ballots in someone's back of someone's car somewhere. But as far as the militia showing up, why has this become such a prevailing claim on the left?
Well, think about the history. They haven't accepted a defeat in a presidential election in AOC's lifetime. They didn't accept the W defeat. They didn't accept the Trump defeat. There's still a defeat. They're still skeptical about 1988 when they blame the Willie Horton ads for things. It's out of control. And their talk about violence and militias, that is projection if I've ever seen it. These are people who don't believe in individualism, don't believe in liberty. They only believe in brute force to advance their means. That's why their symbol is the fist. You see them on the ground in Chad and Seattle. They're armed, carrying weapons. Yet they admonish anybody else who carries weapons and exercises Second Amendment rights.
Now let's move on to this pathetic attempt to blame law-abiding gun owners for the recent crime wave. Here's the headline from the Washington Post. Spike in violent crime follows rise in gun buying amid social upheaval. And the very first line of the article actually says, Americans purchased millions more guns than usual this spring, spurred in large part by racial animosity. Adam, I guess they've interviewed all these gun owners and they've come up. How does the Washington Post actually get away with framing things like this?
Well, it's ridiculous that they try to pretend that gun rights is a racial institution when, in fact, gun control is the most racist institution. One of our investigative journalists was on the ground in Chad a few weeks ago, and he got a Marxist saying something I totally agree with. The Marxists reminded everyone that gun control laws were racist laws. They were created to take gun rights away from freed slaves. If you want to be upset about racist institutions, take down gun control laws and celebrate gun rights.
Chaz, Chop, whatever we're going to call it. Adam, great to see you tonight. Have a great weekend.